All right, now we have a similar quadratic equation, but notice the signs are different than the previous. Both of the signs before were positive, and now they're both negative. So we want to look at an example where we have negative signs. And it doesn't really make a whole lot of difference, but it is just a little bit different. So the process is still basically the same. First of all, remember our first step was to change our equation. We're going to start with or write a new equation. So we drop the leading coefficient and just go x squared minus 7x. Then remember, to get our new coefficient, we multiply the first term times the last term, and in this case we're going to include the sign. So we multiply those together. That's going to give us our new coefficient over here, and that's 12 times a negative 12 gives me a negative 144. All right, so we have our new equation. Remember, our first step was to change. So now we have it changed. Now we want to factor our coefficient, our last coefficient. So we got to look at the factors of negative 144. So let's start out. Of course, we know that 1 and 144 are factors. Then we also know that 2 and 72 and 3 and 48 and 4 and 36. And remember, we're looking for factors whose sum is going to be our middle term, but we're going to have to deal with this negative. So we'll talk about that in a second. A few more factors. We have 6 and 24. We also have 8 and 18. And then we have 9 and 46. I'm sorry, not 46, 9 and 16. And then 12 and 12. Now remember, we're going to have to deal with this sign because we've got a negative in our middle term. So let's just start out and let's pick, and let's just go ahead and make this row negative for now. And we may have to adjust. But remember, our goal is to find the factors whose sum is our middle term. So if we add negative 1 and 144, we know that's going to give us 143. If we add negative 2 and 72, that's going to give us 70. If we add negative 3 and 48, that's going to give us 45. See, so we're not really even getting close. So let's go on down. And if you try all these, you're going to find out that when we get here, negative 9 plus 16, that's going to give us a positive 7. Well, we're close. But see, we need a negative 7 instead of a positive 7. So all we have to do is we have to adjust our sign. So if we make our 16 negative and leave our 9 positive, that'll give us a negative 7. There's the desired factors that we want. So now we go back, we factor our binomial, or factor into our binomials. Remember, the factors of x squared are x, and then our factors that we found up here, it's going to be plus 9 and minus 16. All right, so we found our factors. Remember, that was our second step, was to factor. All right, now that we factored, remember the next step was to come back, bring it back up here, and now we need to fix what we've done. So our third step was to fix it, because remember, that was the factors of this equation, and we're looking for the factors of our original equation that we started with. So we had x plus 9, and we had x minus 16. Those were our factors. And remember, to fix it, we have to take this leading coefficient and divide each one of these by our leading coefficient. This problem is also different in the fact in that we have fractions now that we're going to have to reduce. So we need to reduce these as low as they'll go first. And then if we have to, do the under over. So let's reduce 9 over 12. We know that 9 and 12 have a common factor of 3. So if we divide 3 into 9, that's going to give us 3. And if we divide 3 into 12, that's going to give us 4. So we have x plus 4 as one of our factors. And then a common factor of 16 and 12 we know is going to be 4. So we have x minus, make sure you pay attention to the sign. 4 will go into 16 4 times, and 4 will go into 12 3 times. Now remember, we have to look at these and see if we can divide or reduce further, which we cannot. So now we have to do that process called the under-over. So we have to move what's under over to the start, here, and here. And that gives us our factors 4x plus 3. And then our other factor is going to be 3x minus 4. And once again, I'm not going to go through the process, but you could take those and you can multiply these together either by the FOIL method or by the window method to FOIL them back out, and you will find out that they are indeed the factors of our original equation, 12x squared minus 7x minus 12.